Welcome to Sunday session for January 29th, 2023, man. What a week we had this week. Amazing movement coming off of earnings. Tesla did 33% last week. NVIDIA did 14% last week. Amazon pushing up 5%. So we're definitely looking like we're going into a green week this week, especially with the Apple earnings coming up, with the Facebook/Meta coming up, the XOM coming up. So we're definitely going to be paying attention to this week earnings. We're not trying to be here all day. I'm definitely just trying to go over a few things that I've been noticing. Hopefully, things go accordingly. But I'm excited to see what's going on. MRK got earnings on February 2nd. That whole healthcare sector got earnings coming up also. So please pay attention to that, man. We got a lot going on. Johnson & Johnson is down to about 168. That's a little sleeper. That's a good company, good dividends. But you know how we do, man. We jumping straight into it. SPY. I use SPY as my example chart, trend chart, and pretty much everything. SPY is pretty awesome. So simple to trade. But the first thing I've noticed on the SPY chart, if anybody else can agree with me, it looked like to me the overall trend on the weekly has been broken. It just, I don't know how long it's going to be broken like this, but this is what I get, overall trend break on the weekly. I told you guys my target was that 402. If we close over the 402, more likely we get another move towards that 410, 409 area. It's a small gap up here at the right here. So I'm going to point that out here. That's around the 417 all the way up to about 422. You feel what I'm saying? So small little gap. Not saying we're going to run up that much, but I wouldn't be surprised going into earnings this week. But the most important thing that I see, and if anybody want to agree or disagree, the overall trend line has broken on the weekly for SPY. This can mean two things. My ideal is always, once that big trend break, to see the maximal opportunity of the trade, you will want this to come all the way up and then break down and retest that trend line. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if it's either even going to do that, but that's a good thing to see, man. That overall trend break has broken on the weekly, guys. So anybody got a comment so far on SPY? Because I really ain't got much to say but that. I can say that 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
What's up, Tanya?
When you get done, can you look at the VIX when you get done? See what the VIX look like.
Okay.
In comparison with the stock.
Okay. Anybody else? What's your thoughts on SPY? Is the weekly breaking? Are we going to have a huge continuation? What's the look, man? How we feeling going into next week? Okay. It's a Sunday. We can talk. We can talk on Sunday, guys. This is nothing, the market ain't open. We can talk. I know y'all at the crib, so I know we better chat it up today.
They're drinking at the crib.
Listen, man. Listen.
Hey, I ain't want to talk because I talk all the time.
We straight. Lad, listen, if you ain't go crazy this month, that's your fault. I'm not about to be here babysitting no more. Boy, we went crazy last month. Every Sunday session gonna be me just here. I'm not gonna talk to y'all no more. I just want to be here in the midst of all the trade talk. But no, honestly, man, it's this month, January was a great start of the year. And the thing is that this is what's very important when you're starting the year off super strong like this, and we are getting the trend line break on the weekly for SPY. This is huge. Not saying it's going to continue, but that candle breaking over that line is what everyone's looking at right now at this point. And to be ahead of it was just, it felt pretty good. You know what I mean? So, I'm definitely going to, sit back and see what happened. That's the question that most people always ask, month in and month out. What you do the next month, right? What you do, what's your next trade? How do you set up your next trade? Start all over from scratch. Do your support and resistance from scratch. See how things, gonna look on Monday. Take Monday as being a watch day. Sometimes I do take Monday and just sit back and watch and see the direction of the market. Is they going to react off the RSI? Are there going to be more news? I see somebody posted some news about Israel and Iran. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do going into your next month of trading. the one thing that you don't want to do is get super aggressive and just start buying stuff up because you made some money the first month. You feel me? You should be sitting back. You really, since you up, since you're beating the market the first month of the year, you should be trying to sit back and make a real plan. You feel me? And not to, put that money out there without one. But, that's my opinion. But so far, this is what I got. Support area is still that 402 area, but we did close above the 402. But below the 402, we got 393.80, and then, a 200-day moving average at 370. So overall, again, I want SPY to continue going into Apple's earnings. At least the first week of February, we should have that first of the month vibes. We should have a nice little move coming up soon. But this is definitely going to be a high watch at that resistance up here. Around, and this sounds impossible, but I know using my quadrant lines, I'm definitely looking for this. So I had to put my quadrant lines in because now we're already over the price action, already over the moving averages. So I have no resistance. I cannot use a resistance over the 65 because I have no other moving average above that. So hit the quadrant lines up. I see that the resistance is 427 and that same 409 area. So I really want SPY to get above 409, and then possibly we can have a nice run up to the 420s, the 418s, 427s. Now, if we go to 409 and reverses, boom, we won't have what we're supposed to have. Start, looking at some downside or do whatever you got to do as far as planning. But I really want confirmation now, right? We put out 405 calls, we put out 400 calls, we put out so much information. Right now, if you're not, every time I come to Sunday session, I act as if, no one's in no trades and we're just starting from scratch. So this is a start from scratch plan every time. Confirmation area is above that 409. Now, if we first thing on Monday, we shoot up to 409 again. When you see big moves on Monday, you could expect some downside coming back to retest that support area at 402 on the weekly. But so far, so good. Everything's looking like it's about to take off tomorrow. So I don't know. I know y'all been talking about Bitcoin a little bit. So Bitcoin usually runs on the weekend, like the market kind of responds to it first thing in the morning. And it looked like Bitcoin been doing pretty well over the weekend. So yeah, we're definitely going to be paying attention. Bitcoin target price for me is 25. That's the 200-day moving average. So, it's definitely looking like it's going to be touching that area coming up soon. But like tomorrow's going to be a crazy day. So please be prepared for that. I'm not too aggressive going into tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a watch day. I want to see what happened above that 409. And then I can make a decision on what I want to do from there. But it's definitely looking like we're looking for a nice setup going into earnings this week and, so forth and so on. So anybody got questions about SPY? And this is another really good consolidation area from back in, November. So this is that same area that we're kind of trying to break out of. So same 409, we should be good. Anybody got questions on SPY? And I know y'all thinking he put out no trade. No, I did not put out a trade. I want to see what happened tomorrow. We're getting to a crucial area with that trend line break on the weekly. A lot of things are going to their highs. So you really want to kind of wait and see what happened and what's the reaction above those areas. So I'm until I see, some type of movement towards my resistance, I might just sit back and wait. Again, my price action is already above all the moving averages. So it's definitely look like we're going to have a huge continuation. So please pay attention to that for sure. Apple, you guys know what I'm on. I mean, this is, this Sunday, I wanted to put out a huge list because I know you guys talking about a couple of new stocks, but I'm going to go over like 3 stocks and then I'm going to go to Lucid. I'm going to go to some of the things that you guys been enjoying, making moves this week. So bear with me. But I do want to talk about Apple real quick. We did close at the 145.92. That's resistance at the 65-day moving average. I told you guys I'm using 65 resistance, which was like 146. It tapped that area like one time, and then it came right back down slightly right below it. But we are looking for it to break above that 146, and then we may be able to test that 150 area, which is the trend line. So pay attention to that. But again, because of SPY breaking their weekly trend line, and some of these haven't even reached their trend line yet. So please pay attention. We're not out the woods yet. I'm gonna just pay attention to see how this reacts during their earnings. But this is tight areas. We're in tight areas. This is that for all the people that have been here for a while, this is called that squeezing the lemon time, right? When things start running, $20, $30 up from the bottom, we see the bottom was around 125 and 129. And we had a huge move on the upside up to 146. Now, when you're getting into the trade, to me, in my opinion, that is more of a squeezing the lemon time, right? We're getting close to the trend line. We know that's the resistance. We know, what I mean? We're starting to reach, that's it. Basically, we're reaching the trend line. So when I mean squeezing the lemon, you have no confirmation of continuation until we break over the support / resistance of the 65-day moving average and the trend line. So we're in that squeezing the lemon time frame until we see a reaction over the trend line. So keep that in the back of your mind. Don't feel like, oh yes, we're good. Let me hop off the porch and go crazy. Not yet, because I really expect downside to roll over in March, probably after February, once these earnings start to cool down a little bit. Anybody got a comment? And then this is another reason why I'm not putting out a whole bunch of options. We're literally, if I look at every chart, they're looking the same exact way. The only thing I'm holding right now that's of that I feel like is really good is Amazon. So
Amazon and Alibaba are one and the same. You gotta kind of put them together right now. But I just want to say, everything's hitting at these spots, and we got the Fed coming up. I don't know if it's gonna be this week or if it's gonna be the 13th. I thought it was 13th, but I think some Fed speakers gonna be talking this week or something. So the Fed can be a catalyst either way.
No, for sure. Just know, be careful. You don't have to be aggressive and continue to push, knowing that we got Fed catalysts coming up, knowing that we got a roll of dice in the earnings, because you don't know how earnings going to react. Microsoft earnings came out.
Employment.
Right. So Microsoft came out with their earnings, the stock price dropped, and it had a huge recovery. So this is not the time to be like, let me get aggressive. This is the time to sit back and let some of these things play out, let them test the resistance areas, and then see how things move from there. I want to break for Amazon over the 106.48, and my target going to be about 122, which is the 65-day moving average. Again, it's not guaranteed. So again, I really want to watch and see how this breaks over the 106 if it does. And their earnings is coming up too. So every chart is looking really, really good going into the beginning of February. But we need the confirmation. We need the extra oomph. Friday was a crazy day for Tesla and NVIDIA. So we're about to touch the 200-day moving average, which mine was sitting at 183, 184. And things are just going straight from breaking a moving average and going straight to the next moving average. This is why I'm using the moving averages going into this year, because it's pretty self-explanatory when it comes down to support and resistance using the moving average. If we break above one, your next moving average should be the target. So I'm making it simple as possible. If we break above 185, my next moving average is the 65, and it's in that 228. So Tesla had a huge move from the beginning when we started talking about it till now. I really feel like it did exactly what we expected it to do. You go down to the 4-hour chart. The 9-day is crossing the 200-day here. So we should see a nice little push back up, but everything is making huge runs. Look at that RSI on Tesla on the 4-hour chart. That is extremely high. So we more than likely we should see some downside back down to about 145, 150. If we break below the 9-day moving average, which is around the 168. So that RSI is extremely high. Do not jump into Tesla on Monday if you're not already in it. It's not time to go aggressive. We're not ready yet. let this stuff die off, let it cool off a little bit, let it find some consolidation, and then go aggressive. You feel what I'm saying? For that next leg. Right now, the way it's looking on Tesla, we should be preparing to trade the retest. So that means if you're not in Tesla, you have an opportunity to catch it on the way down and then wait for the retest on the way back up. So all the people that was saying, oh, I miss Tesla, I get it. But you always have an opportunity to trade in this market, man. This market gives out great opportunity all the time. So it's not like you're missing out on anything. Just be prepared for it. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be watching Tesla. I'm gonna watch everything, but RSIs are high. And again, I do what you feel. I know you guys are like, I like to trade and go crazy, but don't just grab puts because the RSI is high at this point. You can do what you want. Y'all grown. But the reason I say that because I don't want to get caught fighting the trend. The trend is still bullish, and I'm gonna ride that bullish wave out until it stops.
But that being said, bro, how you feel about Intel? And then the fact that you're going over NVIDIA right now, that's even better.
Yeah.
Because Intel and NVIDIA in the same boat.
Yeah, Intel is an older company, a little slower. But again, I'm not messing with Intel. I'd rather mess with AMD and NVIDIA or QCOM evenly. But we'll go over. I'll go over Intel with you. Right here, you notice that NVIDIA did break over the 172. It's been riding that 9-day moving average on the 4-hour straight up. We hit that $200 area this week. You can see here, once we broke over the 65-day moving average at 175, we had a huge move up to $30 move from breaking the 65-day moving average. Something about that 65-day moving average, every time price action break that, it gets a huge move. Write that in your notes. Since this year we're learning about moving averages, write this down. The 65-day moving average is definitely a breakout moving average. Every time price action breaks above the 65-day moving average, there's going to be a big move. That's been the consistency I've been seeing. Either the 9 is a good support, the 200 is a good indicator of a reversal and a support hold, and the 65 is an indicator of a breakout. So we're learning how to use moving averages this year. So if you're here, you're here to learn. Now, I'm not here to just put out trades. So I'm giving y'all a heads up on that also. Intel. Intel at $28. They got mad volume though. Why they volume so high?
They had a bad or something. I don't know. I wouldn't even call it a bad earnings. I don't know, because I'm not in the Intel like that. Black Pearl had said something about it last week. I've been watching it. So NVIDIA and all them going up and Intel going down off this earnings news. Stocks going up 10%, Intel down 10%. So I was just looking at it. And they got a gap on the daily, I believe, on the 1-day chart. From that drop. So yeah.
But sure, Tanya said Intel earnings was pretty decent.
No, I said Intel earnings pretty bad.
Oh, it was trash. Okay.
I will be wary about the chip sector. Yeah, the other chip stocks are moving up until they have earnings. We do have a big chip company that has earnings tomorrow, and their earnings would dictate whether NVIDIA and AMD keep running. I think it's ASML or some shit like that. They got earnings. Okay. So what I've noticed with chip companies, anytime they have earnings, like if one of them have earnings, most time the rest of them drop. But everybody was already expecting Intel to have bad earnings. So whatever came out, they was expecting that. But it was a lot worse than what they thought.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
yeah.
Be careful on NVIDIA though and AMD. They gotta pull out some good earnings.
Yeah. NXPI got earnings tomorrow also. As also a semiconductor from the Netherlands. So I mean, what up, fat baby? I hear you. Yeah, that's crazy though, that Intel dropping. One thing about Intel, man, I've been telling everybody, it's an older company. I don't know if they're innovating new things. I know they got the little Intel processor, but I don't know. I don't know about the company as much. But Well, if you do have
So if
some,
anything, they get bought out. Somebody will buy them or something. I don't think they'll go like bankrupt or nothing of that nature. But I just think, when you get a big move like that, when the market is green and you got a decent, goodwill company that takes a hit like that,
yeah,
I think you can expect a little recovery.
yeah.
But
Um,
I'm not certain. I'm not certain.
well, I see some options on there that's going crazy for the February expiration date. But 29s and 30s, the $30 call,
Yeah, it looks like
45
it's
cents.
getting more support right now for
Yeah,
me on my chart. And I got a gap right there. So I'm looking like maybe you could get a quick bounce up to, maybe 29, 30, and then
oh
maybe
yeah,
it'll
that's a
tank
huge
back
gap.
down.
It's a huge
I
gap.
agree. The Swiss bank bought up Intel recently, just probably Friday. So they see value in though Intel is like a dividend play
Right,
at this point.
right, for
As
sure.
long as as long as they hold their dividend, they should be fine.
No, most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, that's a big gap though. All the way up to about $30.28 resistance. Yeah, keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? If you like it, I love it. So just let me know.
It might
Just let me
fill
know.
that gap right now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That gap is huge. That gap is super big on the daily.
I believe AMD is the one that has earnings on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, AMD. Let me go look real quick. 31st, that's Tuesday, AMD. Everybody like AMD. I like AMD too. But a lot of movement been coming up out of them early, man. It's super early. The trend line did break, so that's a positive. We're looking for our target at the 65-day moving average, which is $84. So we could watch. We already breaking up. We closed over the 200-day moving average, so we should have a nice move coming up this week with that earnings coming. If it happens on Monday, I'll say be skeptical. But for right now, because the video moving so nicely, a break over 77 is the confirmation for the next move for like 84. So keep that in mind. And I'm just using the weekly chart. I didn't even break it down to the full and all that stuff. Just looking at the weekly. Yep, the 77.32 should be the next breakover, and then you should have a target of 84. But since it broke that trend line at around the 60s, it's been doing pretty well also. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. Yeah, about 65. It went from 65 up to where it's at now. So Lucid, you guys seen Lucid have a huge reaction. This is more like a sympathy play for what Tesla was doing. So is of course, you can wait this one out. It's nothing reason to be running to this. It is looking super bullish. We did touch on the weekly. You notice the 65-day moving average is at 16, and we did touch 16. But we closed over the 9-day moving average, and it does not have a 200-day moving average. So, but if you like Lucid, I know that Ms. Nancy was on Rivian for a minute. High RSI on the 4-hour. We've seen that pull. We may see some more pull back down about $10. My suggestion for the people that just was like, look at Lucid and it was running late, my suggestion is wait for it to come down to about that $10 area. You know what I mean? High RSI on the 4-hour. Tesla with their high RSI, which they're carrying the EV sector, you should be able to have some downside on Lucid and get a small discount. And then trade the retest back to 14. You feel what I'm saying? So please pay attention to that for sure. And again, when everything is running, going crazy, this is the time to sit back and let things happen. Don't jump out here and be grabbing stuff, and then the Fed come out with news and the stocks start breaking down and you out here looking crazy. Just be patient. The market's going to give you a direction, and then we can have a huge reaction to it. But if we don't want to jump the gun, you know what I mean? And on our Lucid also, the 65, the 65 and the 200, is looking to be about to cross on the weekly, on the 4 hour. So this is very important also. Be patient, guys. And it's a gap.
Now, like, go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. Oh, it's a small gap
Yeah.
also. That was it.
I would like to. They actually ran up because of rumors of the Saudis buying them up, and there was a lot of unusual stuff going on with Lucid behind the scenes. That's why they got halted multiple times because it's under a short squeeze right now. So everybody, I've been watching the sentiment on it online, see what people talking about it. They still think it was squeezed, but they did a lot of halts so the short sellers can, regain whatever they're trying to get. So watch out for Lucid. Nobody knows if the rumor is true or not, but they just hoping that the Saudis will buy them out.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, a lot of unusual cheating behind the scenes. It's crazy. It should have kept going, but they halted multiple times.
Yeah, they trying to stop that money from being lost. It should be illegal to short sell these mugs, man. But if they keep on playing these people, man, people gonna get that money from them. They keep on testing the waters. They didn't learn with GameStop. Yeah, but I appreciate that for sure. But yeah, this is watch it. Let's see what happens. We didn't close over the 9-day moving average on the 15, so we should see some downside, period. Wait until you see some downside before you see a reaction back up towards that gap fill. So let's see how that go. And I honestly, plug. Let's talk about plug. I see you asking about the head and shoulder setup. I know I don't talk about head and shoulders and cup and handles that much no more. I might start doing it again, but to me, it's not giving me enough. Know what I mean? I just, I need the numbers. Know what I mean? The setup can be there, but it can fail also. So I don't want to be, leaning on that. But
I don't even know what half of them be. I just know how to spot them, but I don't know what they really mean.
So
3 teams, I don't know what happens next.
No, for sure.
I just
So
thought it happens. A lot of times you have a cup and handle, and then you go to a longer time frame or shorter time frame. You see an upside down cup and handle. Same thing with a head and shoulders.
yeah,
You zoom out and see the exact opposite. You ain't watching all time frames. It can bite you to do that. You got to have a number.
yeah, for sure. But yes, plug did what plug wanted to do. After we posted our chart at the $15 area, it went back up and retested the 65. So we do have a bullish engulfing on the 4 hour. We did have the resistance at the same back in December. That was resistance was 15.25. From there, it broke all the way down to 11.77. We was getting notified at the same area. So Change Up QC been on this for a heavy, long time from when it came down to about $12. So seeing that recovery is very nice. Seeing how it held on a double bottom is very nice. So ultimately, we do want to see the retest towards that $17 area. Know what I mean? I believe that, plug is going to be a big mover coming up soon. When the earnings you said again, I think it's
first week of March.
First week of March. So I will be preparing for that, at the $15 area. But you mentioned the $15 area multiple times. So, we're seeing that bounce now. It's definitely one of those things where it's like we could possibly see a continuation once we break above 1747. But yeah, this can be huge. My target on the weekly is the $20 area. No, the 1864. Sorry, that's the 200-day moving average is the 1864, and then my 65-day moving average is sitting at 2068. So yeah, we definitely can look at every time we come down. And one thing we got to talk about too, I hope you guys are practicing this, but since we're using the moving averages as support and resistance, we have to understand the rules. The same thing happens when we break over the moving average. So right here on the 9th, we had a clean break over the 9-day moving average on the weekly. Just in the back of your mind, always remember, we need to have a retest towards that support area to show strength since we're using the 9-day moving average. And then that's what happened. It came down, established that around $15 and some change is the support. 1523 on the weekly, but it was like 1525, whatever. And it's a solid support area there. We have to know that's our buy time. We have to be confident and know, man, 1525, that's going to be it. We're in there. And then now when things start going back up and we got the bullish engulfing on the 4 and we got the 9-day crossing the 65 and everything looked like the stars is aligning for plug to have a huge retest towards the 1750, we have to be confident on that retest. We have to be confident. And you notice when I went to the 4, the retest was on the 200-day moving average. So it's the same things, you know, we're just trying to make sure that we have a solid base. And 200-day moving average is usually a great sign of a great support. Whenever a stock come down to the 200, we usually have a nice break over it. Like we can go back in the past, look at this past chart. Resistance here on the 9th, back down, bounced off the 9, retest, break over, right? So this is a nice little clue of what you should be looking for. Bullish engulfing, right? On the 10th, it's the same things. We're using the actual moving average as our support and resistance. So that's all we need is the confirmation of a breakover and a retest back onto that, you know, moving average, and then a continuation back to a high, right? So just let's watch that area going into next week, man. We got to remember that no matter what stock you're using, if you're using the moving averages like I'm teaching this year, please stick to the rule. You feel me? Stick to the rule.
That looks like a nice setup, Dave.
It does. Plug look great. Plug look great. Plug look great when I posted that bounce off the 200-day. I was like, yeah, plug looking good. Huh?
That was a hell of a trade right there, day trade.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
traded plug multiple times just in those same areas between 17 and 15, up and down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know you have.
For
Been
sure.
killing that plug.
I love plug. I mean,
that's a nice call out right there.
That was-
I'm in there now. I'm in.
oh yeah, because it's like it's again, what is on discount? We got to start this from what we used to do last year. Every time we start the year off, we make a lot of money and then we forget the rules. The rules is if the stock is already running and you're trying to squeeze, this is called squeezing the lemon time, right? Or you got a choice. Find out what's on discount, what's not moving. Those are your choices. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'd rather find something that's down right now with a potential of making a bigger move than be jumping into something that's already up 60 and 70%. And then, you know what I mean? You like, damn, I'm trying to squeeze in some trades when I could have been on some cheap stuff and ran back to the old drawing board and caught MRK or, you know what I mean? Or caught XOM because the oil stocks was down Friday. Like those are the things you have to kind of consider, especially when you're watching these. I believe that XOM is going to hold over this 9-day moving average, and we're going to have a retest towards the 118. That's why I was telling you guys my target was like 125, 130. Because their earnings is coming up this week too. But we have to get back into that old what's on discount question. What's on discount? Don't worry about what's already running. We milk everything that's running right now. We've been milking since the drop. You feel me? So for us to be capitalizing off the next move, we need to find out what's not moving and start establishing, you know, contracts and stocks or whatever you want to do, you know, technical analysis and all that good stuff. But yeah, man. What other stocks y'all got going on? And, you know, since we're talking about what's on discount.
CVS,
Who? CVX?
CVS, they had bottom. They had bottom to add support.
You got CVS?
my price target on plug
CVS.
over the next 3 years is like $30. And I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna take that long to get to $30. But like right now, when it comes to investing, I'm trying to invest for my kids. So when I'm thinking long term, I'm thinking carbon free, emission free, you know, California, go green, sustainable energy, all of that. So the plug is definitely on my list for long term shares. And I think 15 or below is a great price.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think plug is a great charge point plug, not fuel cell so much. BLNK. Nah, I mean, those should be some high watches going into the future. Here goes CVS, bounced off the 84. This chart setup is perfect. So if we're continuing to look at charts, I don't need much information to be like, this is looking strong. Only thing that's scaring me is the 9-day moving average crossing over to 65, but we are looking like we're bouncing off the 200-day moving average, which is usually a strong support. So yeah, I believe CVS is going to have a nice little bounce back up. We're in the trend channel. We're in the trend channel. So the rule is we should respect the trend. So since we close within the trend channel, we should respect it enough to see another move going towards 91, which is the 9-day moving average. And then, you know, from there, we should see another move towards the 65, and then so forth and so on. You know what I mean? So yeah, CVS is looking super strong. 65 is at $95. So then the 65 day.
See a possible morning star. This next candle could be a morning star pattern.
Oh, so you're saying it may consolidate a little bit to form that morning star?
It may bounce up a little bit, right? Like that, at least to half of that red candle,
Yeah.
the complete morning star pattern right there.
Okay, that'll be
Give you a
dope.
nice little bounce.
Just keep an eye out on it. Set your alert for 91.84 and 94.16. Know what I mean? The 94.16 is the strong resistance from back in, you know, November 8th. You can notice that's where the whole, you know, resistance started building up at. So we have to break the 65-day moving average. And then once from there, we should see a clean move going back towards 100 and testing that trend line. And their earnings already passed, I think. No, February 8th. February 8th is their earnings.
Can we check out Crowd, Dave?
Okay, yes, sir. Another thing, too, is that their ex-dividend date was January 19th. So, yes, this may be a good time for people to buy back in, you know, because, they, you know, it usually sells off for their dividends. So, you know, you can probably buy back in. So this may be a good watch, CVS. Pay attention to CVS. That might be huge. And be patient with this. And the rotation is looking like we're looking for a rotation. So we know that tech stocks had their earnings. So we're looking like we're kind of rotating out of tech a little bit. Now, I mean, far as us in this group, not saying the market is, I'm just saying that we're looking at different stocks. Good. You feel me? Good. CrowdStrike, CVS, Plug, good job. Right? We're not being hung up on tech, knowing that tech stocks has not been the biggest movers in the beginning of the first 6 months. So keep that in mind. We're doing good by just looking at different stocks, rotating along with the sectors. Target still 109. We still haven't broken the 9-day moving average. I think we're gonna do it this week. RSI is super low on the weekly, so we should be able to break that this week. That should be no problem.
Can you help me with the downtrend channel? Like I'm struggling to like put my lines right.
Okay, I got you. Let me zoom in.
I see a downtrend. I can get the top line, but the bottom line is kind of confusing me.
So boom, you see what I just did there? You can fix your, you know, notice what I'm doing here.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so you can do that on all platforms. Pull the side where the number's at. You can pull the side. You can enlarge or you can decrease, and that also helps you.
Need that.
Right, that also helps you when it's time to make your trend line. Because if you decrease, boom, you can put that trend line in, and then you can go back and go like that. You know what I mean? So that's your trend line right there.
You got a bottom one though? Like, is there anything?
No, just a good support. That support line. It is a channel. Let me take that back. It is a small channel.
Okay, I was trying to draw that.
Yeah, this should be it right there. That should be right there. So it's a downward wedge. Downward wedge. So if we break out of this, either down or above, we're still in it. The only thing that I like this chart setup. I just want that break over to 109. I think that's more of a confirmation time frame. And because it's on a huge discount, it can possibly, and I'm not saying it's going to do it, but it could possibly run up to 163, man. That's if everything, again, the stars has to align with this stuff, right?
You saw them 130 calls coming in.
Exactly.
Last time we looked.
Yeah, for sure. So people are already noticing the discounts for these quality businesses. Let's go back to the 4-hour real quick. I could probably fix it up a little bit better.
All right.
So yeah, we're definitely watching that 109. 109 on the 4-hour is the 200-day moving average. So 65 on the weekly, 200 on the 4. So we have to break that area. It's such a crucial area for us to break to have a huge continuation. So we're right there. It's not dead. I mean, it's definitely not dead. It looks strong. And then seeing it at a discount, it only went from $94. It's only up $10 from the bottom. It's only up $10 from the bottom. So watching CrowdStrike, PLTR, Palantir, what's called PanW, like watching those may be a great idea, especially if they're talking about war. How convenient, and we're gonna get into this convenient conversation the same way I told y'all about the Russian war. It's so convenient that these wars be coming around at the same time every year. We got war in the first 6 months and peace the last 6 months of the year. I'm just saying, I'm not, not saying that they know what they're doing here, but it's just so convenient that things always pop off in January. Like nothing happens in June and July and August. We chilling. But America just getting involved in the beginning of the year. And Israel, listen, Israel is their friend. So we watching this heavy. Israel is their friend. We pay for that friendship every year. We give Israel money every year because it's nonstop. Public information. America sending a check over to Israel.
Man, I ain't gonna comment on that. Don't get asked for money every year, or Australia or China.
Right, bro.
But we do get China money every year, but not the same way
we paying off of that.
Israel.
Yeah, we paying off of that. I don't know if Israel even give us anything for what they got going on. That's crazy. And Israel always starting stuff. Like they not even chilling. They just be popping off. Like y'all need to chill. Like you ain't got nothing to do. What you messing with no phone for? But that's not my business.
That's because Israel gave us nuclear bombs.
Forget,
I'm out.
forget Israel, bro. Who care about we talk about the ones that we used in Japan? They wrong, bro. They gotta chill.
Hey, you must ain't talk to Kyrie. You can't say stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. Let me chill, bro. Kyrie,
Man, y'all know I'm the biggest conspiracy theorist in here, so I'll just go back to my corner.
No, it's okay. It's just watch these stocks because this is cybersecurity stocks, so they definitely usually move when announcement of war and all that stuff. So yeah, 106,
Exactly.
109.
That's why I had posted that Israel stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm glad you did because it all works together. Everything works together. You know what I mean? So since we're looking at crowd, this can be a huge move over 109. My target is 124. And I know it sounds far-fetched, but that's my target.
Don't forget about PanW.
PanW, yeah, another one. What's the other one? It's one more. I forgot the name of it. I know it's PLTR, PanW, and there's one more.
PLTR, PanW, CrowdStrike, and
There's one more.
No,
It's Snow Cyber. No, Snow ain't.
bro.
Yeah, Snow ain't cybersecurity though.
yeah, Snow's not cybersecurity though.
I don't know. I gotta look it up. There's one more, but either way, just watch those stocks. Here go PanW set up. Here go PanW set up, man. We had bounced off of, we came close to the 200. Didn't really get there, but we recovered the 141 support area, and we're at 159 now, which is the 65-day moving average. Next target over that is 166, then 179. So yeah.
Hey, how convenient when you go look at the March 170s is it that you'll see a lot of volume there.
On PanW?
Yeah.
March. Yeah. And contract buying. So now that we're getting into the beginning of February, this first week is the last week I suggest buying anything for February. You should be looking to rotate those further out into March. Just my suggestion. Yeah, big volume on the 170s for 524. Let's look at crowd, because crowd, let's see how much value. Yeah, crowd got a little bit more volume. I know I like PanW too. It's doing this thing. I really don't know much about that company. I know more about CrowdStrike, so nothing against them guys. High value on the 115s, 130s, 140s. Know what I mean? And again, it can possibly go up to 160. So there's Net is the one. Cloudflare, Net. That's the one. Yeah, I remember Net went crazy. So Net is a
Oh yeah, I used to trade them all the time.
yeah, Net is a high traded company, highly traded company, man.
You like you just said about Pan W.
Yeah.
MongoDB. I don't really know nothing about them, but I done heard them
Oh,
mentioned
right.
in the group so many times. I know other people trade them, and I was looking at their chart the other day, but I don't. I mean, I was just looking at the chart. If you get a chance, you check it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's Kano stock, and I never.
It's gone already, man. MongoDB gone already. You got better luck playing Snowflake, playing Snow.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they kind of both in the same category, but Snow definitely on its way up to retest that 160, 166 area, somewhere around there. Last time I looked, I don't know. I might have played them on Friday.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
Mondo.
just seen them jump up, and I can't remember what they actually do. If they a tech company or what, I didn't even look into it. I should have researched it.
No, it's definitely breaking over the 9 days. It's not. I don't think it's gone already though. I think we got to break over 236 and the 200-day moving average at 242 on the weekly. We're at the bottom of everything. This used to be a $500 stock. It just went from 145 up to 225. I know it sounds crazy, but we're just breaking over the 9-day moving average. It rode that area for so long, and then it finally broke over. So yeah, target should be the same thing. 200-day moving average, 65-day moving average. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one's so much easier to play on a Thursday or Friday. It's expensive. I mean, it's fun to play. Don't get me wrong. It multiplies like crazy, but it's dummy expensive.
I'm gonna keep that in my mind. Definitely gonna remember that.
Yeah, here goes Snow. I think somebody asked about Snow last week too. Boom, here goes Snow. It had a nice trend channel. Snow was straightforward. Had a beautiful trend channel back in the day. Let me delete this. Yeah, it had a nice trend channel here. So boom, nice little trend. Once it broke the trend, you see what happened. You got that downside right there. And we could look like support with about 124. Target price should be 186, which is the 65-day moving average. But yeah, I'm not, again, I want to see what Monday look like. If we can start getting downside on Monday, that's good. Going into first of the month vibes. So watch out for them RSIs. Right now, we got high RSIs. We got everything going crazy. So, please be aware. And this is just a informational Sunday session. I'm not trying to put out a bunch of plays. I just want to see how this week play out, knowing that we run into earnings. And again, we're squeezing the limit. Last year, we seen the squeeze the limit times, and we were still aggressive. So things kind of, went sideways for us. So this year, we learned from our mistakes. We're not going to squeeze the limit that much. We're going to watch the limit be squeezed, and then we'll make a decision after that. Nothing too heavy today. Anybody else got questions?
Man, great month, bro. Great month. I think this is the end of the month. Yeah,
Yeah.
we might have 1 day left. Great month.
Oh, no,
I was
for
looking
sure.
at
It's
the
great
paper
start.
notes I did. On the first day of the year, I did the paper notes. I put like a January 20th, a bunch of January 20th calls out. And it being that we just passed January 20th and like it was a 96 Baba call, some Amazon $90. It was crazy on paper notes.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
been a great month.
No, for sure. For sure. That patience is going to get you there. So since you're coming off a great month, what's the motivation to be super aggressive without researching? The research got you this far. You might well continue to do the research and make great plans, make great setups. We're fine. You feel me? I'm not worried about if I'm putting out trades, and that don't do nothing for me. I want to put up the best setup. You feel what I'm saying? And you can notice that I'm pinpointing my setups. I'm not about to be super aggressive. I'm not doing no extra stuff this year. I'm trying to be exact more than, just putting it out because I can. Right? No. I want to be exact. So yeah, great month, guys. Congratulations to everybody that stayed down, stayed focused, stayed locked in. Congrats to people that read the notes. That was literally all you had to do. But yeah, it's been a dope, super dope month.
Like you're American to page.
Starting the year off right, starting the year off really strong. I really feel like we're gonna have a great. If we continue to be patient and work what we have and pass that information along, and everybody communicate like they have been, we should have a great year. Should be no issues. You know what I mean? And questions are being answered, charts are being followed. We should have no issues. This Airbnb, I'm just looking at it real quick. Airbnb, man, you guys know about Airbnb. This IPO back in 2020, and I'm just setting it up just to see what happened. You know, I'm gonna set some alerts probably, but I want to see what happened if we get above this 134. This could be huge. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just floating.
Getting that one.
Tanya had put out some
Dash.
most talked about on Twitter as something trending topic from Twitter trades.
I think that I think Dash. I did she have anything else other than Dash? I seen Dash.
Yeah.
Beyond, I know a couple people that got burnt in the Beyond Meat IPO, so I still be wondering if it's ever gonna go back up to.
I think Beyond Meat gonna be around forever. It's just the times that we're living in. To see my homeboy. Everybody remember when this was a hit $200, and I was telling people, I'm like, man, we need to sell it, blase. And then people were saying, this is my long term. This is why I be teaching about what to do with your long term. I don't know, JB. I think JB finally sold around 150 or something like that. But dude, you have to know if you're buying, because JB bought this at $15 and then it went up to 200. But you have to know what you're doing, even with whole shares. It's so easy to be convinced that, you know, oh man, I can hold this for 10 years. And that's the only thing that you're thinking about is just, I'm holding it for 10 years. You're not thinking that this is already up 300-400%. Why am I holding it for 10 years? Like, you're not thinking like that. You're thinking that the one thing, I'm holding it for 10 years. That sounds cool, but the reality of it is, that's dumb. If you know, if you buy into a stock at $18 and it goes to 200, you need to be out of there. You know what I mean? Because now you're back at your entry price. You're back at your original entry price. It dropped down to about $12. And now you might have a potential to redo it again at 12. Know what I mean? So don't never overhold your whole shares. So if you're looking for whole share buys for the long-term investing, bro, have that plan of least downsizing in your position at, once it hits up to 400 through 500%. But don't sit up here and say I'm holding just because in your mind, holding it for 10 years is long-term investing. Beyond Meat was up here way at $200 and look at that downside. Like, that's crazy. Know what I mean? So there's no way in the world you should get caught up in that, especially going from now till 5 to 10 years now. So if you go buy Beyond Meat for $20 and then 5 years from now is at $150 to $200, you know what to do now. Now, I mean, we need to be getting up out of those positions. And I get it. It'll be like, man, but I'm giving up the $18, price tag. Bro, is it worth giving it up or waiting for it to come back down? You tell me what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because you can see the chart. Chart visibly is like, oh, we hit here, resistance, and then downtrend. Like, you see a clear downtrend from here. So keep that in mind too, man. Long-term investing don't mean you have to hold it for a long time. You know what I mean? Long-term investing is the idea, but if your percentage is already over 100% within a small amount of time, taking your money out is the best choice, because no one gets 100% in 1 year, and I tell people that all the time. But there's opportunities where you can do that, and I don't want you to get caught in that. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna cap, bro. I sell if I sell 75% of my shares. If I just bought Tesla shares at $100 and I just made 75%,
Yeah.
80% in less than a month at the beginning of the year, I probably sell 75% and wait on, the middle of March or June or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. I like taking profit.
You gotta take profit, man. It's almost a must. Because you see that this market is not forgiving. They don't care if in your mind you're saying 5 to 10 years. If the fundamentals don't add up, if the technicals don't add up, y'all didn't collect y'all checks, even on long-term stuff. I mean, it's not a competition of who can hold it the longest. It's not a competition at all.
It's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
All the
rinse and
same
repeat.
stuff.
I mean, I sold like 80% of my position in Mara, but I mean, I've been in since $3.32. So this week when it hit almost $10, I sold a lot of it. And then I turned around and I bought Southwest Airlines because they dumped at $30 with the profits that I won from Mara. And I'll hold that until, I get my solid, 75, 50. Yeah, I say anywhere between 50 and 100%. Usually at 100%, I sell like a lot of the position of a whole share that I got because like Dave said, there's no point in like holding forever. Unless it's paying
Unless it's
dividends.
Apple.
If it's a growth stock, you
Unless
can
it's
just
Apple,
get it
man.
again.
Apple is the only thing that you hold forever.
Apple,
Yeah, man. Apple is the forever stock. I don't believe that anything other than that, other than Apple, Google, well, just Apple to me. I don't really care about nothing else. They pay dividends. I'm gonna ride that out.
Yo, Dave,
What's
yeah,
up?
actually about Snap and Meta, cause well, not see it, Snapchat. They got earnings coming up, and they typically usually do horrible. You know what I mean?
I mean, this
So
is
if they
cheap
do
too.
good, Meta always drops off. So
Mhm.
you gonna check that out for me?
Well, Snap is at the bottom, dude. We at $10. There ain't nothing I can really say about Snap. But how much
it can go down further.
it can go down, but it can go up too. So, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I bet my cards on Snap. But if Snap, I don't think Snap, to be honest,
TikTok,
yeah. But to be honest,
That's what I'm saying. Sorry to cut you off. That's what I'm saying because like the whole TikTok thing, I know everybody's into TikTok. And so like, how do they actually make money? Like, what do they do? So, and like I said, because if they
marketing,
usually have a
advertising.
bad earnings, not Tesla, but Meta usually falls off the cliff right along with it.
I don't think Snap gonna pull a Meta down. Snap don't even look strong enough to pull a pin down. Snap out here looking dry. Who on Snapchat? Who's still on Snapchat? Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop.
That's my point. Ain't nobody is.
But Snap out here looking struggling, my boy. Like, I ain't going to lie to you. Now, because the RSI is super low on the monthly, you may see a pop the $15. Don't be surprised. But
Yeah,
I don't
$15
think-
is about the cap that I got between 15 and 17.
yeah,
They got
for
a
sure.
gap between 15 and 20.
Yeah, so just let that happen. You know what I mean? But I don't think Snap is going to be strong enough to pull down Meta. I think because of the way Meta is setting up, especially with that deal they just made for BuzzFeed to start bringing content to the metaverse, bruh, Meta ain't going nowhere, and Snap is going down, is dead. But Meta is at 150, guys. Like, this was $93 in October. Now, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Meta look good. You know what I mean? Out of all the stocks out there right now, Meta look good, and they look like they're doing good business. So they're gearing up for their comeback. You feel me? They're gearing up for their comeback. You just gotta wait for it. This is the monthly chart. You see where the support was on the monthly. You see where the bottom of the monthly is, about $94, $93. So I don't think Snap gonna pull Meta down. I think Snap just dead. Like, I think Meta got so much stuff coming for the next 5 to 10 years that they're gonna be back at $250 probably next year.
The one that I'm watching this week to go along with Amazon is Shopify. I like the setup on it. Look on the weekly chart. It look
Praise the
good.
Lord. I feel you. I'm on it too, man. I'm watching you watch it.
Yeah, Shopify is super cheap. Bounced off of the $26 area. I already got the chart set up. I love quadrant lines. You see how clean quadrant lines is, bro? It just does what I do. It just does what it do. Like $26. Next area for me is $57, $58. Know what I mean? It looks strong though. It looks super strong. Watch this $58 area. It looks super strong. And that's also the 65-day moving average. So it looks super strong. Oh, let me move my line back there. It was at $25. So you bought it at 25 in October, you'll be up 100% right now. And to mind you, Shopify, it was just $169. You know what I mean? Like, these are big boy stocks. These aren't little boy stocks. But yeah, everything looked nice. I think all the charts looking pretty good because we at the bottom. We're still at the bottom. We're not. It felt like it felt like it was the Super Bowl this week for stocks, but we really just started. It really just beginning of the month. You know what I mean? Beginning of the year. We got a long year, dude. We got a long way to go. I know Tesla had to save the market. All the people that
Yeah,
hate
man.
Tesla,
You know, Tesla put the market on their back.
bro. All the people that hate Tesla, all these analysts downgrade Tesla, bro. Tesla saved the market, bro.
All the haters.
Bro, Tesla saved Microsoft. Tesla saved them to every stock in the market on this week.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
got no comment.
that's pretty much it, guys. You know, we chilling. We chilling, man. Sunday session short and sweet, man. We ain't out here doing too much. If anybody got any comments or questions. Oh, did Philly win yet? Because Lou said 49 was going to win, but you know how that goes. Let me start my recording before I